What's going on, guys? This is Kaishiro. Welcome back. So long time no see, guys, because I have no informative video contents on the previous week or a week or two already because I had a cold and I have a stuffy nose and rough voice. That's why I don't have the quality of voice to make content recently. But now I have just recovered and we're trying to make up for the time that we have lost on providing OCG content on our channel. So without further ado, let's start. So we are going to tackle what are the top 5 best rogue decks to play on the OCG format right now. So we have just recently have the OCG ban list this October, and it made a lot of changes and metagame shifts and metagame trends on our format. So now we are trying to assimilate what are the top 5 rogue decks to play on this format. So yeah, let's start. Coming at number 5, we have Dragon Link. So Dragon Link have lost one of their best cards on the deck in the name of Chaos Ruler. So Chaos Ruler makes a lot of things happen for the Dragon Link. It gives a lot of ceiling for the Dragon Link, and it enables a lot of plays for the Dragon Link as well. So it gives passage and gateway for the Dragon Link to make a lot of plays. That's why losing Chaos Ruler is very massive for the Dragon Link. But even though they have lost the Chaos Ruler, I still think that Dragon Link is still a manageable combo deck to play right now and a good rogue option as well on our current format because they are still a potent combo deck that can make a lot of plays, that can go into a lot of negation type of monsters like Barone, and we have Borreload Savage, their usual end board, and they can also try to be more creative and link a lot of plays using their monsters that can go into IP Mascarena that will eventually go into SP Little Knight, which is very massive for the Dragon Link as a form of interruption. So yeah, this deck is very power creep already because they have lost the Chaos Ruler, but I still think that Dragon Link should be still fine right now on the current format because they're still a very viable combo deck to play even though they have lost some of its power. So yeah, Dragon Link is a very good combo deck, but all of the combo decks struggle on the same manner. We have Maxi to be dealt with using the Dragon Link. Dragon Link tends to struggle around Maxi because even though they can play around conservatively, it still takes a lot of summons just to go into something like the hieratic seals. So yeah, really, it's really a tough time for Dragon Link when they are being resolved by Maxi. That's why Maxi is a very terrible card to go against using Dragon Link. So that's why it is only number 5 on our list because they really struggle a lot around Maxi. So yeah, at number 5 we have Dragon Link. Moving towards the number 4, we have Unchained. So Unchained is still a very popular deck on the TCG format. It won YCS events on the TCG already, and it is one of the most popular decks and top decks on the TCG format, but you cannot say the same on the OCG because OCG is a very different format from the TCG, and a lot of game mechanics and variables are very different on the two sides of the format. And we also have Maxi, which Unchained struggles a lot as well. So yeah, Unchained is only number 4 here on our rogue option, but this is still no mean feat because Unchained is a very viable deck to play. It can make a lot of interruptions on the opponent. It can really interrupt the opponent really well. It can have a lot of destruction effects on their field, and it can also make a interruption and pseudo negation with the DDDXYC monster. So this deck can set up a very powerful board when going first and can also do well when going second because they have built-in going second tendencies and potentials that can break a lot of boards using this deck. But the problem of this deck as well is Maxi, of course, that I have said earlier. Unchained really summons a lot on their turn. That's why they are very struggling against Maxi. And also, Unchained summons up to 5 times, more than 5 times on a single turn. That's why they are very prone to Nibiru. And the deck is pretty much agile. It can make a lot of plays on the opponent's turn, and they try to move a lot on the opponent's turn. That's why they are really prone to TTT as well. So this card is also massive on Unchained, and this card is very represented on everyone's main deck and side deck right now due to the mid-range oriented format that we currently have on our OCG format. So yeah, Triple Tactics Talent is a threat as well to Unchained. And also Phantasmi is one of the tech cards that are being played right now on the format. So Unchained really struggles around Phantasmi because they are based around Link monsters. That's why Phantasmi is very effective against Unchained. So yeah, at number 4 we have Unchained. Moving towards the number 3, we have Mekanko. So Mekanko is one of the decks that are under the radar for quite some time already. Many people really underrate the Mekanko and the potential of Mekanko and the capabilities of the deck, because most people really don't have the money to play Mekanko on our country as well and other parts of Asia. So Mekanko is a very expensive deck. That's why I think lesser people play the deck. But on average level and high tier competition level, I think that this deck is very manageable and a very strong deck to play on the OCG format right now, because this deck, aside from the decks that I have said earlier, which struggles around Maxi, this deck doesn't have any problems when facing Maxi. It is one of the most better attributes of the deck, that they are really adaptive on playing around Maxi. They can play around Maxi very well, and also most hand traps that are being played right now, like Whaler and a lot of things on the format that are hand trap oriented, are really weak around Mekanko. And also Mekanko can really go second really easy, because they have options to play when going second, and they have a built-in mechanic on the deck that can really help them when going second. And they can also corporate cards like Lightning Storm and Evenly Match if they are trying to go second and OTK for game. So yeah, I think Mekanko is a very good deck. And one of the best going second decks right now for me on the format is Mekanko. If I'm going to name a better going second deck than Mekanko, I would really stick to Mekanko. So yeah, Mekanko is a very potent going second deck right now on the format. And they are still having options on going first. We have Dogmatica engine on the Mekanko that can help them go into Maximus and control the tempo of the game. So yeah, I think the Nadir Servant and Maximus on the engine of Mekanko is very good as well, because it can help you to dictate the tempo of the game. And when your opponent tries to be proactive, or rather reactive and passive around you, because they are trying to stall for their outs to have the finishing blow against Mekanko, they're trying to delay the game just to draw their outs when going against Mekanko. You can use the Dogmatica engine so that your Maximus can deck out the extra deck of your opponent, and it can also destroy their cards using the Elder Entity entities on your extra deck from the dump of Maximus. That's why this deck is very good as well when your opponent make you go first when using the Dogmatica engine. So at number 3, we have the Mekanko. Moving towards the number 2, we have the Sinful Spoils Invoke Dogmatica. So this deck is very potent as well. A very good mid-range deck right now for me on the format. This deck is one of the best mid-range decks that you can play on the current format right now for me. Paired with the Sinful Spoils that can elevate the ceiling of the deck using the negations of Invoke to protect your board, and also the added ceiling of the Dogmatica on the deck. It is one of the better decks to play right now on the format for me, because the win condition of this deck is very linear. You set up multiple negations using the Sinful Spoils and the Invoke that goes into Mekaba to negate your opponent, and you also have the option to play the Dogmatica engine that can get you Fleur de Lis to negate your opponent once more, or have the option to play Maximus, which is very terrifying because they can search for Schism using this deck and make a Winda. So Winda is a very powerful turn 1 boss monster, and it is a legitimate win con. Right now on the current format, most decks doesn't really have the capacity to play around Winda. Decks like Rescue Ace, decks like Pendulum Magician, and a lot of decks on the format really the struggle around Winda. That's why I think that this is one of the best decks to play when going first right now on the format. But the problem of this deck is really the same. They're trying to cope up and play around Ghost Bell most of the time, because Ghost Bell is very massive against the deck, and also Ash Blossom as well can be really devastating around the deck. But other than that, I still think that it is very safe to play this deck, and also the deck will not have any banlist hits because the Dear Servant just got recently buffed from the banlist, and the only notable things that you should consider on the forthcoming banlist is the Sinful Spoils. But I don't think it will happen because we will still have the Agov AE version, or Asian English version of Agov on December or January, if I'm remembering things correctly. So yeah, this is pretty much safe from the ban list this coming December. So yeah, I think this is a very good deck to invest at right now on the OCG format. So at number 2, we have Invoke Dogmatica Sinful Spoils. Moving towards the number 1, this is a very surprising deck for me, to be honest. And I really don't know what happened and why this deck got resurgence suddenly on our OCG format. So at number 1, we have Drytron. So Drytron has been around on the metagame since the 2021. They're a very powerful deck on 2021. Those Tri-Brigade, Drytron, Virtual World format with Eldritch, those are the times where Drytron have been reigning on the format. But things happened suddenly and they have lost a lot of cards on their deck list and they lost some consistency and ceiling on the deck. That's why they fell off from the metagame on our 2022 to 2023 era. But now they have now a resurgence and I don't really expected it, to be honest, and I really don't know why. But Drytron is still one of the good decks to play right now as a rogue option right now. On the current format, this deck even made tier 3 representation on metagame charts on Japanese tier list. So yeah, this deck is a really legitimate deck right now to play on the current format. And also, this deck can really make a powerful board using the ultimateness or the perfection depending on their variant that they're playing. So this deck can set up multiple Omni Negates. And also, I think the resurgence of this deck is most people doesn't respect the Omni Negates enough right now on the format. They're just trying to play Imperm, Veiler, and other hand traps that can negate on spot on their opponent's side of the field. So yeah, I think cards like Dark Ruler No More and Forbidden Droplet lost its popularity and effectiveness on the format. That's why decks like Drytron with Omni Negates are able to rise up and make some good run on the current format. So yeah, I think that's the factor where Drytron have shined on this current metagame format this October. So even though this deck can really set up a powerful board, there's a lot of downside for this deck, especially the Drollen Lockbird, which is still popular right now on everyone's side deck because Purely is still a very relevant meta deck right now on the format. Drollen Lockbird is very insane against Purely, and it is also insane against Drytron. And also, cards like Droplet, which are very, what they call this, unusual right now in the format, but it is still can shackle the Drytron and negate the ultimateness or perfection instantly. So yeah, at number 1 we have Drytron. I really hated this deck, to be honest. I have PTSD on facing this deck, and yeah, I think even though I hate the deck, I think it deserves a shout out on the number 1 list on this rogue tier list of October format. So yeah, at number 1 we have Drytron. So short recap on our tier list. At number 5 we have Dragon Link. At number 4 we have Unchained. At number 3 we have Mechanico Dogmatica. And at number 2 we have the Invoke Dogmatica Sinful Spoils. And at number 1 we have Drytron. I don't have a Drytron card, that's why I have represented it using the Benten. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. I hope you do learn something on this video. And I hope that you can subscribe on my YouTube channel because we are reaching recently 1,000 subscriber mark. So we are nearing on that occasion. So thank you for the continued patronage on my YouTube channel. So see you on the next one. Peace.